Border crossings plunging 95% under Donald Trump. This is incredible. And, the Democrats said this could not be done. How many times do we have to hear that? We had to spend more money, of course. Money. And then somehow they would find new programs that they could put people into, whatever. The Republicans wouldn't go along with that. And they said, well, it's the Republicans' fault then. You got massive border crossings because we can't get the money to do this. Well, it turns out there's still no money to do it. And yet the border crossings are down 95%. Senator Chuck Schumer, who's on his last legs, I kid you not, I don't know how this guy survives this one. His own party can't stand him right now. He was asked about this. He didn't have a whole lot to say. I don't think he liked the question.
In border crossings, record number, is that evidence that Trump's border policies are working? Is he handling the border well, you think, sir?
He doesn't like that. No, doesn't like that one at all. But I want to show you the real numbers, okay? Let's go to Axios today. They have a new graphic out on this. This is Border Patrol apprehensions on the U.S.-Mexico border. And this chart just blows me away. Can you see the numbers there? Can you see the years? Look at this. Incredible. Now I know. I remember Lou Dobbs was getting so upset during the Trump administration, during 2018, 2019. He was furious because the border crossings were still going up. Rest in peace, Lou. Well, go down, look at 2020. That was March 2020, right? So everything stopped. And then as soon as it opened back up again, it was party central. I mean, everybody was coming in. So you had 250,000 coming in a month. It was crazy. And look where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Take a peek at that number. 8,326, the latest. I've seen numbers as low as 300, but let's go with this for now because that is one dramatic graph. Okay? So who said it couldn't be done? It can be done. You just need the right people there. Tom Homan knows that. Our borders are.
Another flight every day. The teams are going to be out there every day. Every day, the men and women of ICE are going to be in the neighborhoods of this nation arresting criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats, and national security threats. Lawrence, you're not going to stop us. We made a promise to the American people. The President Trump has made a promise to the American people. We're going to make this country safe again. I wake up every morning loving my job because I work for the greatest president in the history of my life, and we're going to make this country safe again. I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
Yeah. I just love seeing you going through these.
He's a good guy, by the way. He's a really, really good guy, and he's passionate about what he's doing, and I love that. And he's so happy, and I think Border Patrol is happy to have the president on their side so that they can do their job. And look, when they're able to do their job, look what happens. You've got border crossings plunging by 95%. It's really just incredible. And yet they're going to keep up this lawfare thing. I mean, it's not just happening on the border stuff. It's happening with these universities and this Mohammed, Khalil situation at Columbia University. I mean, it's very, very similar. It's very similar stuff because, again, you've got the State Department saying this guy is a problem. And then you have an activist judge saying, oh, well, you moved his case to Louisiana where there's a conservative court. We don't want that. We're going to move it back to New Jersey. Don't forget, this is the kid. He's not a kid. He's 30 years old. His wife is 8 months pregnant. He's a green card holder. He's married to an American. He ignited all these protests where kids were really, Jewish students felt really, really uncomfortable there on campus. Heck, anybody would feel uncomfortable with all those marches and protests. And he kind of lit up a lot of protests all over Columbia, all over New York, and that movement spread. And so he is considered, therefore, a danger to the nation. Mahmoud, forgive me, I call him Muhammad. Mahmoud Khalil. That's his name. And so this is a very, very similar kind of thing where you've got these activist judges trying to get in the way of the actual law. And people are just using the law for a change. Marco Rubio is saying, hey, you know what? And by the way, Marco's a smart lawyer. He's saying, I can do this. He's Secretary of State, and he's using this little-known law to justify the detention and deportation. He said it's his right to do so. And he can do this under a 1952 act. Okay, so maybe you haven't seen it used a lot. Maybe you haven't seen it used since 1952, but it's the McMahon-Walter Act of 1952. And this is what gives the federal government, the Secretary of State, it specifically empowers the Secretary of State to expel foreign nationals who pose a threat to the United States. While the government has not yet explained, this is an article in Newsweek, I believe, yet precisely how he meets this qualification, the president's spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, has indeed said that Kylil organized group protests that not only disrupted college campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe in their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda flyers with the logo of Hamas. So there you go. There you go. He was out there distributing flyers with a Hamas logo. Marco Rubio wants to implement a 1952 law that enables him to expel him and deport him because, you're kind of here on our graces, good graces. You're kind of like at the invite of the United States. And if you're considered a threat, and that kid was a threat, again, full-grown adult, 30 years old, he was a threat to students on campus for sure. Heck, you know how big a threat it was? They had to cancel classes at my own alma mater. I don't even recognize this school anymore, for goodness sakes. They had to cancel classes at Columbia University. They had to cancel the graduation because one guy wants to stir it up. And now we're going to have them tell us, no, you can't use the McMahon-Walter Act of 1952 that does give Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, the power to detain and deport him. You can't use it because we want to jump in and just make your life difficult. I'll tell you, they are not on the winning side of this issue. Again, court of public opinion. You win that one all day long. It's why Donald Trump won.